Big up yourself, Mr. Yomin Tube. Janaya,
Oh, yeah.
sure when you finish your clothes by the door.
Yeah.
What's up? Come in now. Let me introduce the world to my wife.
What? You after I introduced.
Yeah, good afternoon. Alright, so we set up the YouTube. I we set up the TikTok. I don't think we have nothing else to set up here. Yeah? Alright. We'll start the talk this way, guys. Anytime you hear that, that means we're ready to roll, right? Alright. Alright, guys, good evening. Welcome to our podcast, Build to Move. This is our episode 1. Hopefully, a lot more to come. And the purpose of this podcast, guys, is to more expound on the logistics industry and the machinery industry. My name is Rudy Rudolph Lenny. I have about 10 names, but my birth name is Rudolph Greg. And I'll be your host for this podcast. What we'll be looking to do is invite industry players to sit with us or chat with us via the phone from time to time and just give their take on the industry. Obviously, everyone's gonna have a different perspective, but if you have any kind of interest at all in logistics or machinery, this might be the place for you. We're gonna do our very best to give you value all the time, right? And yep, I made my first mistake, guys. I've been chatting up a storm and I didn't click record on my audio. So we're gonna do it again, all right? Yeah. Welcome to our show, guys. Good afternoon. My name is Rudolph Greg. I'm here with our new podcast, Build to Last. Sorry, Build to Move. And the idea behind this podcast is to primarily discuss the logistics and the machinery industry. Right. My name is Rudolph Gregg, and I'll be your host. I've got nearly 2.5 decades of experience um, in both industries, but I have way more experience in the machinery industry than the logistics. So you know that we have to keep it 100, and this is what we'll aim to do. Um, can you like my basketball is and follow me to keep flopping and getting 10 views? All right, Blake, no problem, Blake. No problem, brother. All right. So, guys, Blake is asking if we can like his basketball edits. I mean, the thing is, Blake, we're gonna have to have a look at it, make sure it's something that we endorse. And once it's even neutral, definitely you get some support from us, Blake. So yeah, no problem with that. All right. All right. So yeah, guys. So welcome to the podcast. This is Built to Move, where we break down the machines and systems that keeps the world running. And again, I'm your host, Rudolph Gregg. And today we're going to talk about something most people don't even think about, but literally affects everything in your life, which is logistics and machinery. And for a lot of people, machinery might be a word that they can easily associate with. But over time, you being on our channel or vice versa. You understand a bit more about logistics because it's even more important to me than machinery. What logistics does, right? Because with logistics, every single thing that you're looking at now in your house, if you're making a meal, if you're looking for something to eat, very likely a truck or a ship at some point was moving that from one point to the next. All right. So these are just some of the stuff that we're going to talk about. We're gonna we're gonna get crazy deep in some stuff, guys. Like as simple as oh, what's the difference between knots and kilometers per hour? Because if you have any, not many, because you can be in the logistics industry and you don't even know what knots represents. But we're gonna try and get it down to, you know, not saying you guys are dumb, me neither, but we're just gonna get it right down to the nitty gritty of where it started, why, and so on and so forth, right? Just to get the information out there, provide some kind of value. Because if we're not providing value, then guys, what use does it make? Eh? All right. Yes, no man. And guys, if you have any issues hearing me, this is a new setup. So anything can happen. All right. So um yeah, big up OJ. Yeah man, just let me know if you have any issues with the audio. And your boy, which is also Mr. Engineer today, Mr. Producer, will will attempt to fix it. All right. So just bear with me, guys. All right. Really appreciate you guys so much, and thanks for joining me again. It's a new project that we're doing, guys. So I'm gonna ask for your support. Please do what you can. Like the video, share it. Just spread the word. We're gonna keep it going and give it our best shot. All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining me, and we're gonna start with segment one, and the topic for segment one, guys, why this matters, right? Because yeah, we can obviously the internet is there for everyone, so we can say and do whatever we want. But why would a podcast about shipping and machinery even matter, right? And what most people don't realize is if logistics stops for even a few days, everything collapses. All right. And a prime example, today is April 6th, 2026. And a prime example is, your gas prices currently, right? Your gas prices is all through the roof just because of a logistics issue that's being affected because of the war between Iran and United States and Israel, right? So those ships that are currently looking to go through I think it's the Strait of Hormuz, and are being blocked by the Iranians, it's having a ripple effect on everything, right? A month ago, I think gas prices in some places maybe even double. I stand to be corrected, but what I'm trying to say is logistics is so important so that, you know, if it's supposed to stop, then, it's crazy. And the funny thing about it is it's just 20% of the world oil that moves through that particular location that's being currently blocked by the Iranians, right? And look at the effect of what's happening. So we have to be mindful, guys. Logistics is super important, machinery is super important, and this is why I think it's a worthwhile thing to actually start a podcast like this where we can just give value, right? Thank you, Tete Universe. Thank you so much for for the gift here, right? So yeah, so some of the stuff that logistics really moves, we already know, but again, we're gonna just see it anyhow. All right. If everything collapses logistics wise, we're looking at no fuel, again, straight off our news, uh, no food deliveries, no construction, no parts for any machinery or so just think about it, guys. Right? Just think about you um going on Amazon and ordering something and they're telling you, you know what, we won't be able to get it to you no or anytime soon. That can be devastating, right? And that's just you. That's just one person. So you can imagine when everybody, the stuff that they need is not being able to come to them on time. That can be devastating, right? So that just shows you guys the I'm just what maybe 10 minutes in, and it just shows you the level of you know importance that the logistic industry carries, right? Um, Again, we're talking about logistics. We're talking about machinery. Uh, the machinery, while not as important as the logistics, because even the machinery, if it's broken and it needs to be fixed and it need parts, that's where logistics comes in, right? Logistics have to help move the parts from point A to point B to get that machinery up, right? So even the machinery that we're discussing, as important as they might be, they need the support of the logistics industry. All right. So in just to put it in a simpler term, machinery is the muscle, right? So you have a forklift that lifts up every pallet that you and I would have to call about 4 or 5 more people to help just to shift, right? Um, and then logistics is the system of moving. You know what? I'm not gonna make anything up. I'm gonna actually read the actual definition. All right, and I have a good friend here that asks for a lot of stuff. Chatterbox GTP. So just so you know. All right. So according to this definition, it says logistics is the process of planning, moving, storing, and managing goods from one place to another in the most efficient and cost-effective way. Right. So just that one sentence break it down. It says it is the planning, the moving, the storing, and managing goods from one place to another in the most efficient and cost effective way, right? Um, so it just goes to show, right? And that's segment one, together they move the world. Because again, you know, adding machinery in this is kind of if it's kind of a risk, but I think it's worth the risk, right? Because what happened now? If you're moving anything from say America to Jamaica, right? And yes, you put it in a container and it's being moved. When it gets to the port, what does it need? It needs machinery, right? So it needs a machinery to first take it off the truck, right? Stack it in the yard. Then it needs a machinery again to go and take it from one place, put it on a truck, bring it to the gantry crane, and then the gantry crane, which is a machine, will lift that off and place it on the ship, right? And a lot of ships as their own crane, just in case they go to a site and there's an issue with the with their stuff, you know. So yeah, so it's as important. It's as important, guys. So yeah. So it's give me one sec here. I don't know what is this. Okay, get out of here. All right, guys. So they keep bothering me to add some kind of goal here. All right, so I must ask the five rows. So must ask the five rows, guys. All right. So we have to see what we can do. And give them a beating, yeah? So more you help me, guys. We need five rows. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So let's continue. Right. So I was just explaining the importance of also having machinery. Um, because it's just so important as well. Right. Um, give me a second. It's so important. All right, guys. So yeah. Yeah. So no fuel again. Prime example is what is happening right now. Nearly everywhere in the world, especially in North America. I can't speak for Europe much. So if anybody is in Europe, here you can just send me a message and see if what I'm saying makes sense, right? But I do think it's worthwhile, right? Right? No food deliveries. No food deliveries. That's what they say. If the logistic system collapse, no food deliveries. You can imagine that? You can imagine no food being delivered to you. Not even me can imagine that. So I wouldn't even ask you to imagine that, right? But it just goes to show, guys. It's as if once you go into logistics, everything is important. Every single thing, right? And a lot of the things we take for granted, we only, we only see them after, and we have to be very, very careful that um, we don't get caught out like that. All right, Johnny. Yeah, guys. All right. So next thing we want to talk about is what I guess we already start. What is logistics really? And this is more than just shipping, right? As we explained already, it includes planning, transportation, storage. So again, planning, transportation, storage, timing, and cost control, which is basically what I said earlier, right? So it's super duper important that we understand that and appreciate it for what it is, right? Um, every shipment involves multiple steps, pickup, final delivery, and one mistake can cause delays, extra costs, and lost cargo, right? And that's the risk we run, as shippers. Um, most of you who know that our company, Amplartic Logistics, ship quite a things from Canada to Jamaica, and then our other company from ships from the US to Jamaica. It's a courier company, right? Clear Limit Couriers, located in Linstead and Crossroads. All right. So we're in it. We understand it. Even in the Melissa situation where you see everybody right now is having so much issues, with a lot of stuff that they send and saying, oh, you know what, stuff is missing, this, that, yada, yada, yada. You know, I feel their pain, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you, it's not easy. One mistake and everything can start to crumble, right? So we who are in the business of logistics have to be super mindful of that, right? And again, with logistics, you're moving stuff across border, so you have to be extremely careful. Make sure you're compliant, right? Because at the end of the day, the Canadian government has to protect their border. The American government have to protect their border. The Jamaican government have to protect their border. So they want to make sure that whether you're moving in or moving out, there's some kind of control mechanism so they can check and verify and do what they need to do to keep the citizens of their countries, respective countries, safe. All right. So give me one sec here. I'm not really live. Yeah. You understand what I say? All right. All right, guys. So, and as we mentioned before, while this logistics thing is so important, it's made a little bit easier by the use of machinery and the role that they play, right? Um, some people would say without machinery, logistics doesn't exist. Ah, I would say that too because I guess we could use donkeys, eh? Yeah, I guess we could use donkeys. So I have to be careful what I say here, but basically, port uses cranes and stackers, and warehouse uses forklifts, and construction site uses excavators, loaders, and other equipment, right? Um, but yeah, even a construction site, as you know, most, if not all, construction sites require, lumber at some point, and nine out of 10 times, machinery is the one who cut it. Machinery is the one um, who pack it, and machinery is the one who's gonna deliver it to site. You understand? Big up yourself, Kirkland. No respect, family. You understand? So yeah, it's just about that. And then just as ports use cranes, stackers, warehouse use forklifts, construction sites use excavators and loaders. Today's machines are evolving with GPS, sensors, and automation, making operations faster and smarter, right? So again, the efficiency is one of the most important thing. Getting it as fast, as smooth, and as cheaply as possible from one side to the next. All right. All right. So with everything, every industry, there are issues, right? And for this particular industry, there are a few things, right? So real problems in the industry. So port congestion is one, which is one of the most common, I would say. Port congestion, whether it's because of the operational um, mishaps, where one box should be somewhere where it's not, and then everything has to be moved. It just slows everything up, right? Delays come from so many sides. You know, because one of the things that I try to explain to a lot of our customers is, you see, once we load that container and ship it off, and it's in the end of the shipping line to take it from point A to point B. A lot of times they tell us, hey, your ETA is to have this thing in Jamaica on the 30th of whatever month, and it's just one email. And the email, 90% of the times, reads like this: We just want to inform you that your shipment has been delayed by a week or 2 weeks, and the new deadline date is X, Y, or Z, right? And regardless of who you want to call, who you want to talk to, that won't change it unless it's an internal decision on their side, where they think that, we can actually facilitate you to to go on the ship, or facilitate your cargo to go on the ship within a certain time. So once the cargo is out of your hand with us, as you know, the moment we load it, it's not in your control again until we give you a call when it reaches Jamaica to say, hey, the container is ready to be picked up, stuff like that, right? It's the same thing for us. Once we hand it over to the shipping lines, then we have we're basically handicapped until they call us and say, hey, yes, your box is ready to be stripped, or yada 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 yada. So just want to put that out there. So that's where the delays come in. And with delays always comes storage fee. Like in the Melissa, the issue with the Melissa in December, I think November, December, January, we had cargo that was supposed to be stripped and ready on the 22nd of December. And what happened? The cargo got there, I think like a week later, like the 27th or something like that. It got there, but because of space, again, back to congestion, because of congestion, they weren't able to open the container, take everything out, so we could phone our customers, hey, you can come pick up. And the fact that it was sitting on the ports, it's not our fault, it's not our customers' fault, right? It's just that the bays are full, right? So they're like, we can't accept it as yet. That that came with storage fees, guys, from the ports, right? First, it came with demurrage from the shipping line. It's like $100 for every single day, right? So it's in our interest to make sure that box is opened as soon as possible, right? It's in our interest because every day that it spends, that's $100 that we have to find, so we can get the cargo released to our customers. The thing is, no customers want to pay that because I know them. It's not their fault that these boxes are sitting on the port. It's not our fault neither. The problem is we won't get back that cargo until we pay these fees. So we have no choice. The decision that we came up with, you know what? It's already bad. Let's pay what we need to pay and get these items to our customers in Jamaica. So we went ahead, whatever the port asked for, we paid it because again, there's no negotiation there. We paid it, and after paying it, we call our customers. Hey, you can pick up, or for the door-to-door items, we delivered it. For most of our customers, we tried to tell them, hey, listen, because of the delay, there are going to be additional charges, and we kind of sensitize them, right? Um, but I understand because for the door to door, 90% of the time you're saying, hey, you know what, $100 should be able to take care of everything, and then no, because of these additional charges, then you're telling them, oh, you need $50 more or whatever the case might be, and no one is going to be happy with that, right? The truth is, out of my all of my door to door clients, I'd say 98% were understanding, cooperative. Obviously, I had to go and work with them, right? For instance, if something, came up to an extra $10, I did what I could, and I say, okay, all right, let's do $6, right? The thing is, it's not that I didn't pay that $10, but with all the operational changes, we know we're not going to make anything there, and that's not the intention. The most important thing is to get the items to the customers so they can get go to your family and they can have fun. And then after that, now I try to negotiate with them and get paid after, right? It's risky, but I think it's way better than fighting with them. It's not better, but because the thing is, a business is a business, right? And when you start to get emotional about this, oh, maybe this person can't pay or whatever, you know it's not good for business. That's the truth, right? But the thing is, you have to have values. And for us, I guess that's where it came in, that yes, we might not be able to get this money, but it's better them having their goods and not paying us, and then we can argue there, than they're saying, oh, you're holding up my goods because of X, Y, or Z, right? So again, back to our earlier definition, as it said right here, guys. It says, I apologize. Give me one sec. Yeah, but it just says, it's the efficiency, right? It's the efficiency of moving the goods at the lowest possible cost, right? And when you're moving personal items for people, a lot of us, in the diaspora, we work so hard for our money. You know, I mean, everybody does, but that means something. That means really means something to me, and for that reason, we can't just go over that. We have to make sure that we really, really, really understand what we're doing there. All right, guys. So we spoke about, and guys, we're on the topic of real problems in the industry. We spoke about port congestion and the effects. We talk about delays. We talk about storage fee. I guess storage fee is super, super duper. You know, Not just important, but there's a string there, right? Because we just came out of a situation where we had to make a lot of adjustments to get it right. All right. And the next one is equipment breakdowns, and that's more of a port thing, where the port that's moving the cargo, the equipment that they're using, whether it's the crane or the trucks or the heavy machinery to lift up all the containers, those stuff breakdowns, right? And when it break down again, some things you don't need parts for a fix, but I would say 75 or 85% of the times you do. And that's where the logistics would come in, right? So behind every shipment is a system working to keep things moving, even when problems arise, right? Because again, when we're moving your containers or your barrels or your packages, listen, 90% of the time there's an issue, but we are responsible for making sure that your items are properly dealt with, and you can get your stuff in a timely manner, right? So there's issues, but just like, if there's a fire, you call the fireman. If there's an issue in the logistics industry, and you're like me, you're a forwarder, it's our responsibility to find out what's the fix for that. All right. So we're gonna talk about opportunities in logistics and machinery. All right. I'll go on. I'll go on, PJ. Big up yourself, cause all right. So yeah, we're gonna talk about this industry and the opportunity that it comes with, right? So if you're out there and you're considering, logistics or machinery, it's so broad. It's super broad that you could go into a lot of different areas. So you could go into freight forwarding, right? On the logistics side, you can go into customs, become a customs officer. These are all important roles that's needed, right? So depending on what you want to do, and I would say, just just really take your time, do some research, because it's huge. And one of the things I think a lot of people don't understand. It's not as scary as it seems. You know, if it's something that you ever consider of doing, you just right now you can just go on Google and you can get a lot of information that will actually give you what you're looking for to make that decision, right? But if it's something that you want to get into, whether you want to become a freight forwarder, a broker, anything like that, and you have any questions, yeah, man, just give me a call. Just send me a message and I reply to you. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not as crazy as it sounds, right? If you're in Jamaica and you're considering, oh, I want to get into the shipping business, whatever, we can help you with that as well. And again, it's not as hard or it's not as crazy as it might seem. All right. So, big up in a Clarence. I go on family. Yeah, man. Big up, bro, man. Respect, man. You understand me? I say so. Yeah, on the equipment side, of machinery side of things, you can sell equipment. We do that. We do that as well, right? Repairs and maintenance. If you know me well enough, you know that I'm a HD mechanic also, right? So that's right up our, and then part supply, right? That might take a little bit more capital to get going, but once you start, you know, again, you just want to create a niche and try your best to stick to that niche, right? And I'm giving you this advice, and I'm here telling you that I'm doing logistics and machinery, right? So, what might be good for the goose, maybe not for the gander, but at the end of the day, you got to know what you want to do and what you can manage, right? Everybody is different. You understand? So yeah. All right. So if this says if you solve real problems in these areas, you can build a strong business. I mean, you can build a business in any area, right? That's the truth, right? Because growing up, you see a lot of people that do bar business or chicken business or egg business. But in my opinion, you know what makes the difference? The difference is what you do when you're in it, right? Let's look at this guy, Damian Crawford. That guy went into the egg business and revolutionized it, right? When everybody else is selling egg in a shell, the guy set up a system and he sell liquid eggs. So you see, all of the everybody that really wants to bake and have the money to bake, they're ready to buy the liquid egg than to buy the egg that they have to crack, right? But that's what we have to do. We have to think. We have to think forward. We have to think way ahead. We can't just be caught up in this one mind kind of thing, right? All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is, I guess it's my perspective here where I said people don't just buy machines or buy uptime. They buy reliability and they buy solutions, right? And what we mean by that is for a lot of us that go out sometimes and we're selling, and we have to first know what we're selling, right? Know who we're selling to, because it makes no sense you try to sell um you know sweater or big jacket to a man in the Caribbean where 90% of the time the weather is hot, so you have to know your audience. You have to know how you sell and what you sell, right? First and foremost, right? um when your when the equipment's not working, right, money is lost every minute. and that's where value comes in, right? So one of the things, guys, like a lot of these sports, they have huge maintenance budget, right? And very well trained maintenance keep their machinery up and running, right? Because if you have a crane that, whether it's slow, whether it's broken, not working, any one of those, right? And there's a ship that comes in, all these ships, they're working with timing. So a ship will come in and the port has 24 hours to move 10,000 BTUs, right? There are 10,000 containers, right? They have 24 hours. If that crane is not working and then they have to move the ship or they have to move the crane, and that's a lengthy process, that ship can miss their window because a lot of times, they're going to the Panama Canal, and I think I'm not going to lie to you as if I know everything. I'll do some research and come back, but I think they have to actually reserve the time to move through the Panama Canal, right? And if they miss that, then they might be waiting an extra day or something like that, right? So that's where that comes in, right? That's where that comes in. So everything has to be super efficient, right? Like really, really efficient, all right? And yeah, and just keep it flowing, okay? All right. I feel you some man. Who there? Miss Marva? Thank you so much, Thank you so much. Big up yourself, Miss Marva. That's for Miss Marva there, yeah? Hope everything all right, Mumsel. All right. So yeah, and then guys, so logistics and machine to keep everything moving. If you're in the business, construction, or shipping, this is where it all connects, guys. So I just want your feedback. What you think we should be doing more. What we should, just give me a feedback, guys. Very Miss Liquor, big up yourself. Let me see you. Right? Just give us your take on what you think we need to bring to it, right? It's all of us, and it's a community, guys. So whether you're on TikTok, we're on YouTube over here. I just want to say thank you so much. All right, and again, if you're in business, construction, or shipping, this is where it all connects. Subscribe for more episodes as we dive deeper into equipment, real stories, and business opportunities. Right? This show is built to move, right? And we're gonna keep the focus there, guys. All right. So I don't know if you guys have any questions, but again, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today, and yeah, you know, see you again next time. All right. Yeah, Miss Liquor, big up yourself. Miss see you, man. Everything all right? Yeah, nice to see you, man. And my mother there too. Big up my mother, Miss Marva. Yeah, man. Thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, Mumsel. All right, guys. So again, thank you so much for joining. This is our first episode, and we'll keep it going. And thank you again, and I'm looking forward. All right. So you have a good night, and yeah, big up. All right, YouTube, thank you so much. Yeah, really appreciate you stopping by.